I am 3 years sober from alcohol. This is a very, very tough video for me to make. This is not anything that I really talk about fully, transparently, especially on social media. But I feel like it's time for me to heal it and move on from a lot of this and help others do the same thing. Personally, I am 3 years sober from alcohol, and it feels amazing. I'm extremely thankful. Quitting alcohol was one of the best things I had ever done for my entire life. So for those of you that do not know that I don't drink alcohol or why I don't drink alcohol, I'll tell you. Here we go. My dad was an alcoholic. He was a raging alcoholic where he drank every single day, all day, every day, all day. You know, growing up, I didn't really notice it. When you're young, you don't really notice those kind of things. There was only a few mornings that I remember that he was sober. He would be sober for a few hours in the morning when he woke up, and then when he would go out, he would go stop at bars, buy alcohol from the store, drink it before he came back, things like that. And I just saw what it did to him. It literally, so if you know what it's like to be around an alcoholic, then you kind of know what I'm talking about. Growing up, I had to watch alcohol take his soul. I watched alcohol strip this man's soul from his being. It's not easy seeing, especially as a man, especially as a young boy, watching the man you're supposed to idolize, the role model that you're supposed to be like. You watch him destroy himself through this alcohol, through this substance. And slowly but surely, it got worse over time. It wasn't, I mean, I guess it was always bad, but I guess I wasn't old enough to realize how bad it really was. So I started getting into high school and out of high school, and I would just see it get worse and worse and worse. And just looking into his eyes, there was nothing there. There was no sparkle in his eyes. There was no soul in his eyes. There was literally nothing. It was just plain emptiness and darkness. And I truly believe alcohol is a demon possession. Alcohol abuse is a demon possession. I truly believe that the demons overtook my father and he couldn't handle it. He wasn't close to God. We never went to church. He never spoke of God. He never spoke of any of that. I feel like his journey was his journey, and I got, as crazy as it sounds, I got blessed with him being my father. As much as I didn't understand it when I was younger, I still somewhat don't understand it now because my life is pretty fucked up, to be honest. I see, even though I'm not drinking alcohol like he was, I see a lot of him in me, where I've had so many failed relationships because I can't communicate properly. I've had so many failed relationships because I couldn't speak my mind. I couldn't really articulate what I was going through. I would just internalize it and just stuff it down and not deal with it. And that really just does not do any good for any relationship. It doesn't do good for any person. It doesn't do good for anybody. What it really does is when you hold on to energy and you pent up your emotion, it really just destroys you from the inside out. And I would literally wake up out of nowhere for no reason and be angry, be upset, be irritable, and say things that I didn't mean. And that's exactly what my father did. And even though I'm not drinking like he was, I'm still going down similar paths to that he was. A similar path to him, just without the alcohol abuse. I'll be completely transparent with you. So I quit. I got over my addiction of weed. Weed no longer controls my life. I stopped taking Adderall. I don't do any hard drugs anymore. But the one thing that I cannot shake is nicotine. Nicotine is the hardest thing for me to shake. It is crazy how addictive nicotine really completely is. I know that even though I'm not addicted to alcohol or I don't drink alcohol, I still have my addictions. I have an addictive personality. When I fully invest into something, I fully invest into it until I get tired. And that was with drugs, alcohol, everything. I got off track a little bit, so let me get back to it. Yeah, I had to watch alcohol destroy my family's life. I saw it destroy my dad. I saw it destroy my relationship, my family, my mom and dad's relationship. I watched it crumble that because my mom knew how bad the addiction was. She knew that he was doing what he was doing, drinking all the time, coming back plastered, drinking and driving, all that stuff. And she got tired of it, but she stayed with him for me and my brother. Can't really say it was the right idea or not, a right decision, but It was her decision to make, so I can't really speak on that too much. But what I will say is that I watched alcohol control my father. It took a decent man and turned him to literally nothing. He's literally wasting away right now. He still drinks. He's alone. Barely any contact with me. No contact with me, to be honest. Barely any contact with my brother. He is just wasting away. He's literally wasting his life away. Last I heard about him, he was in a trailer, just not working, not doing anything. Literally just wasting away. And so what really got the worst part of the alcoholism, I guess you can say, was he couldn't control it so much to the point that he literally took his company credit card and bought alcohol with it on the job and drank on the job 2 different times. So he chose alcohol over his job. He chose alcohol over his family. And at the time I was 16, 17, maybe somewhere around there. So I still couldn't really internalize what had just fucking happened or how bad the situation was. But looking back at it now, I remember when I was like 7, 8 years old, him driving us home from my uncle's house, and we were turning on the exit to get off the freeway, and all of a sudden his door just flings open, and he was like, he played it off as like, oh, I didn't shut the door right, but he was throwing out a beer can as we were driving home. So he was drinking and driving while I was in the car. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad to think about, but like I said, I'm grateful that it happened. I'm grateful that I got to go through, I got to deal with this in my life, you know. I'm a better man for it. I'm overcoming my addictions. I'm not perfect, but I will say that I am striving to be better every day. I remember too, also when I was like 4 or 5 years old, it was Christmas time, and we had those inflatable snowmen, inflatable Christmas Santas in the front yard. And I remember one time, like, the inflatable was deflated and it was laying on the floor, and there was a beer can, and my dad's favorite beer was Coors Light. Fucking white shit, right? Anyways, his favorite beer was Coors Light, and it literally, for some reason, the beer can was in the hand of the Santa or the snowman, and I was like 4 years old, and I was like, Mommy, look, Dad. Oh my God, like, that shit probably broke my mom's heart to see that, you know. And looking back at it now, that is really sad to associate your father with being drunk and passed out with a beer can in his hand. But like I said, I am 3 years sober from alcohol. Quitting alcohol was the best decision of my life, to be honest. It was a very slow process, to be completely honest with you. It really was more of a very slow process. There was a point in my life back in 2016, 17, where it was almost 10 years ago now. Damn, that's crazy. Where I looked myself in the mirror and I hated what I saw. I hated what I looked like. I hated the man I was becoming. And at that time, I was raving all the time. So I was drinking every weekend, doing Adderall, Coke, Molly, acid, all at once too. Like, it was bad. I was doing a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have been doing, which I'm still grateful that I did because I had fun. You know, I'm gonna be real. I had fun, but there's a time and place for that. And I'm glad I did it when I was young. I remember I was with this girl and she like raved. We would rave all the time. We would literally just smoke weed, eat, work, rave, party, go to clubs on the weekend in between each rave. This time was a very dark time for me, to be honest. But I remember looking in the mirror and I still have a picture of it. That was the day my life changed. And it wasn't because it changed that exact day, but my mindset changed that day. I wanted better for myself. I wanted to do better. I wanted to do great things in life. And I remember that time taking that picture and looking, and God literally sat me down. He's like, this is the path you're fucking going down. This is where you're gonna end up. It's gonna be shit. You're gonna be just like your dad. You're gonna be this, and this. And I was like, damn. And then he's like, this is the path I want you to go down. This is the path I had laid for you. But you gotta stop this. You gotta stop that. And it didn't happen overnight. It took me years to stop drinking, to be honest. To completely stop drinking. Like, I would drink every once in a while. I remember for a friend's birthday, I didn't drink, and they know. It's crazy. Like, I'm no longer really close to them anymore. It's because things like this. So, you know, I would hang out with them and not drink. And I know not drinking makes people fucking uncomfortable. It makes them uncomfortable for some reason. I don't understand it. Well, I don't understand why it makes them uncomfortable, but it does. And I remember not drinking, and my friend was just like, bro, come on, it's my birthday, bro. Like, just take some shots with me. And I remember giving in, bro. And I remember taking 4 shots and being hungover the next day. Ridiculous. Like, what? 4 shots? used to be nothing. And then that was the second to last time I drank. The last time I drank, I was around the people that I shouldn't have been with. It was one of my exes, and she drank all the time. She drank every weekend. And I was at this point where I wasn't drinking. Like, I would tell people, oh, I don't drink. We went out with her friends, and I just felt so excluded from that because they were having a fun time. I really wasn't having a fun time. So I was just like, all right, let me take the edge off. Let me drink a little bit. So I took 3 sips of a margarita. Same thing, fucking hungover an hour later. Like, I had a headache an hour later, and the next day I was hungover off of 3 sips. And then that was the day where I'm like, no, we are not drinking anymore. We're not gonna drink. There's no point in drinking because number one, our body is literally rejecting it. We shouldn't be doing this. So yeah, that was the last time I drank, and that was over 3 years ago. Alcohol absolutely repulses me. If I see someone drinking, it's disgusting to me. If I smell it on your breath, it's disgusting. And that's just the way the way it works when you get to that point. So if you're struggling with alcohol, I promise you it's better on the other side not having any alcohol. I guarantee you you're gonna have so much more better you're gonna have so much more of a better life without it. So if you need any tips or need to reach out, anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you guys. Peace and love. Have a great day.